Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Pramsikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Gita Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Yamunamai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari 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 Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru Angoranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajani Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastitya Dashatanine. Hare Krishna Facebook, welcome to the morning live stream, and Hare Krishna TikTok. Thank you for joining. So, just a few exciting announcements before we begin. Nityananda Prabhu, would you be so kind to pass me the magazine? So yesterday we received the newest Matchless Gift magazine. For those of you that are new or haven't been following, we publish a monthly magazine called the Matchless Gift. Why is it called the Matchless Gift? Well, it's a deep meaning. One is because actually when Srila Prabhupada was in New York, he had a storefront and it was called Matchless Gifts. That's how nicely Krishna arranged. And the magazine is called Matchless Gift because the information, the vibration is matchless. You cannot get any other Krishna conscious literature on the market that is like this. Is completely unique magazine, and this is our most recent one. So yesterday I was here packing about 100 boxes for the subscribers to go out. We also have some special gifts in this month. Can I turn it so I can see my... so feel a bit impersonal. So this is our most recent issue. And I can just give you a sneak preview. Not all the pages, just enjoy. Smells like Krishna consciousness. So each magazine has articles and interviews. Who is that rascal? And recipes and a comic and thought pieces and poems, anything, because in Krishna consciousness is not about artificial renunciation. Our acharyas are so kind that they allow us to dovetail everything rather than artificially renounce. So this is the newest magazine. It's out now. It's on the website. It's on the Bliss store. And if you'd be so kind, Prabhu, you can kindly share the link. And we also have another fun thing going on. We are doing a book marathon, so we have a really fun way to engage all the devotees at home. If you can't distribute books, if it's not your thing, if you can't deal with that austerity or follow Prabhupada in that exact way, then that's fine, because we'll do it for you. We go out every single day. Well, not me, but the devotees at Bliss, they go out every single day. So you can give a donation on our fundraiser, and you sponsor books, and we distribute those books. And so it's just like you're distributing those books. And Srila Prabhupada says that if you want to please me, distribute my books, distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. So 3 times means final in the Vedas. When something is repeated 3 times, you know it's very important. So the links will be coming shortly. Those are 2 ways to engage. Please kindly don't leave this live stream without contributing in some way. If you don't do any service, if you don't do any service in Krishna consciousness, you will fall away. And we want you to stay for your benefit. So you can also subscribe on Facebook too. You can subscribe on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, share this live stream, tag your friends, follow us on YouTube, and just... What do they get by subscribing on Facebook? Yes. I'm not entirely sure. Apart from you get to join the Bliss subscribers group where you get behind the scenes content which no one else gets to see. You get a free digital matchless gift. There you go. I would do it.
You get it even before the physical subscribers.
You get it before the physical subscribers, he says. Immediately. You know, we just proofread it, we send it to the printers, and before we've even got it, you get your own copy. So you're going to be ahead of the game, and you can show off to everyone, because we all know we love to do that, conditioned souls. So have to dovetail the propensity to show off. Subscribe. Okay, we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam today, the spiritual law book. Do you remember? Okay. Oh! Well, I remember talking about bone marrow, so I think that we're doing text 47. Maybe Peter Krsna Prabhu will be able to tell, because he is always very on it. Perhaps he can confirm, but I'm pretty sure it's text 47. No, maybe it's not. Does anyone know? Prabhu's in the kitchen. Can you turn it down, please? I don't want to hear my voice. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, which one?
Yesterday was Brahma. I did 48, so 49.
Oh,
yeah.
Shame.
100%, it's 149. 1 gazillion%.
Oh. Well, this one was about music. I was quite interested in that. Anyway, so we're going to do, cool, thank you. Going to do Canto 3, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, Text 49. Okay, I'll try. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, translated and purported by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Canto 3, Chapter 12, Text 49. Tato param upadaya sa sargaya manodade tataha thereafter aparam another upadaya having accepted saha he Sargaya,
Sarvaya,
in the matter of creation.
in the matter of creation.
Manaha,
Manaha,
mind. Date,
Tate,
gave attention.
gave attention.
Translation. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body, in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. In his former body, which was transcendental, affection for sex life was forbidden, and Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex. He thus engaged himself in the matter of creation. His former body transformed into fog, as previously described. Okay. Well, I'm reading more. I can perhaps, speak on the subject, but not the actual thing, because I don't really know what's going on. Okay. Om Agyam Timirandasya Gyanajana Shalakaya Chakshu Amilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is opening my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto His lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada. I also offer my humble, respectful obeisances unto His Grace Purajit Das, Purajit Prabhu, my teacher, who is kindly teaching me how to follow Srila Prabhupada. Jai Purajit Prabhu. Okay. So,
One person is saying, can you please cover your head?
can I please cover my head? Oh, it's very annoying, keeps falling off. I'm more of a comfort girl myself. It is pucker, you're right, and I appreciate your little judgment, Anata. I have that too, a lot at the moment. But I would urge you to look at the good things rather than the things that are not so pucker. And you're right, that's the best, so thank you. Okay, so I'll read the translation again. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Purport. In his former body, which was transcendental, affection for sex life was forbidden, and Brahma therefore had to accept another body to allow himself to be connected with sex. He thus engaged himself in the matter of creation. His former body transformed into fog, as previously described. Okay, so I actually have not read this canto, so I must admit my ignorance on the context of what's going on here, but I can certainly try and elucidate on the subject of sex life, which is very interesting, very triggering. A lot of people don't like it, don't like talking about it. See, even Lord Brahma, who in the previous text, Srila Prabhupada explains that Brahma is the personal representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is the complete form of the Absolute Truth and is invested with multifarious energies. So sex life is, in one way, it is natural. We wouldn't be here without it. Sex life is necessary for procreation, and it's necessary for the creation of the world, just as we see here. Not for Krishna, though. For Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can merely glance upon material nature. She gets agitated, and everything is born. However, we are learning from a disciplic succession, and also it is said that what great men do, all others follow. I think that's in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So a lot of the time, and we've been reading a lot about Brahma recently in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and how he had that situation with, he felt lusty towards his daughter, and every Prabhu who was giving the class was explaining and expanding on the purport that we should not judge these exalted personalities as we would judge ourselves. It's very, very different situation. Just like Arjuna, we might look, or someone with a certain perspective might look and say, oh, Arjuna, he's just like me, he's a conditioned soul, and he fell into ignorance. Actually, that's not the case. Srila Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad Gita introduction, which I'm reading right now again, that Arjuna was put into ignorance by Krishna, so that the Bhagavad Gita could be explained for generations to come. So similarly with Brahma, we cannot judge these divine personalities who have much more potency of Krishna than we do by our own standards. It is one of the offences that we recite every morning, and everyone who comes to this live stream every day must learn the 10 offences in the chanting of the holy name. And the second offence is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva to be equal to or independent of the holy name of Lord Vishnu. And the third offence is to disobey the order of the spiritual master, to consider him as an ordinary man, or to respect a bogus guru. So it is a great offence to consider the spiritual master as on the platform as we are. Now, in this day and age, everyone wants to be guru, and the conditioned soul, living entity, has a propensity to cheat others. We love to put ourselves on a platform as knowing everything. But unless we are clear in the Krishna conscious philosophy, and importantly, unless we are repeating the directions of the spiritual master and the bona fide disciplic succession, we are bogus ourselves. And so that's why it's so important to hear from the authority constantly, continuously, and ask questions so that we can know when we have a misconception, because we have that propensity. Just like it's very useful for a man, and I would say a woman in particular, a woman body person, to know what they're dealing with, to know their pitfalls, their nature, that they might be able to overcome those and notice, I'm doing that horrible female thing again, or I'm doing that horrible man thing again, and pull back and detach from that. And so similarly, it's so important for us to be aware of the nature of the pure devotees and their little tricks and what they get up to. I don't mean tricks in like a bad way, but how they can seemingly trick us, and they can pretend or be, so-called covered, just so they can teach us a lesson. So we should not imitate, ever. Just like Lord Shiva, as Maitreya Prabhu was saying last night, Lord Shiva, he smokes ganja, but he is able to do that for Krishna. We are not able to do it for Krishna. Just like someone was saying the other day, this, material things, it's I can enjoy a little bit, that's okay, that's also for me. This is a great misconception. This is still the idea that we are the Lord and Master, and that we are the creator and we are the controller. Like, I give a little bit to Krishna and then I take a little something for myself. No, 100% must be dovetailed into pleasing Krishna. Why? Because without focusing on pleasing Krishna's senses, we can't be pleased. Now, everyone who has come to Krishna consciousness in some way, who's sincere, might understand that, okay, I've tried to satisfy my senses. I've tried to satisfy this system going on here, and it's not working, so let me try something different. And then we are, just like we were reading this morning in the, I think it was the Nectar of Devotion, that Lord Chaitanya said, or perhaps it was it Bhaktivedanta? That those who come to Krishna consciousness are very fortunate. The word was fortunate. It was in the Nectar of Devotion. At Bliss, we read every day a paragraph or a few lines. And so we should consider ourselves very, very fortunate, and also always remember where we were before the spiritual master plucked us out of that ocean. Lots of points there. Okay. So we mustn't imitate, because we are on a different level. There are different levels of living beings. There are people, because everything is a person, everything. Even in the spiritual world, a blade of grass is also a person. It doesn't necessarily have a human form, but it is a person and it has a personality. When you're a pure devotee, you can see that here as well. You can see that everything is Krishna's energy. And we were just discussing last night how even if you have the eyes to see it, if your eyes are smeared with the pulp of love, you can see, even in this material world, that everything is coming from Krishna, and you can feel his presence or see him in that, which is glorious and something to definitely work towards. It would be amazing to be here, but also be with Krishna. That's awesome. So, whilst not imitating those divine personalities. I was saying that there are different types of living entities, and everyone has a role to play. There are the conditioned souls, the jivas. There's the Ishvara. That's the Supreme Soul? Controller. The Supreme Controller. How do I say the Supreme living entity? Jiva? Not Jiva.
What do you try to say?
The Sanskrit word for the Supreme living entity. There's Jiva. Parama Ishvara. There we go. And there's Nitya Siddhas, souls that are eternally liberated. There are Sadhana Siddhas, souls that reach perfection through the sadhana, through the meditation. There's Kripa Siddhas, who reach perfection through the mercy of the spiritual master. So there are many different types. And we're so lucky because unlike some of the mean religious conceptions, it's not that you sin and then you go to hell and that's it. There's always a way out. There's Krishna consciousness is consciousness. It can be revived in every single moment by using the free will to come back from the mind, being in the mind energy that's thinking all about me, how can I enjoy, this is when we suffer. In any moment, you can pull yourself back. I'm here for Krishna, I'm getting back home, back to Godhead, reminding yourself, and the easiest way to do this is to always chant Hare Krishna. This mantra is the way to be present, it brings you back. My humble request is that anytime you feel yourself, your false ego, temporary self full of anarthas, running away with you, that you bring it back with chanting Hare Krishna. So, here we are, conditioned souls, and we're reading about Lord Brahma, and in the past few shlokas, and we're reading about how he's been attracted to his daughter. Now, does that mean that we can do such a thing? No, Lord Brahma is exhibiting a pastime to show us something, and that we've learnt about in the past shlokas. So how do we enjoy sex life? How do we engage in sex life? There are different ways, there are different recommendations. There are 4 ashrams. There's the Brahmachari ashram. This is coming from the Vedic way of life that we here practice, and we try and practice as much as possible. As Kali Yuga degrades or gets more advanced, it becomes more and more tough, but Srila Prabhupada gives us this system, and if we follow it, this is a natural system. And if we follow it, everything will be groovy. So it starts off, and a student boy is a brahmachari, and he trains under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. He gets fixed up in the knowledge. He learns how to control his senses. He learns how to be a servant, and he gets to a point where he can choose if he's going to remain celibate or go down that path, and he can take sannyas. Srila Prabhupada said that it's not allowed, or maybe those aren't the exact words, but he was against sannyas in this day and age. However, he did give his students sannyas, just like in an army, you might give someone the position of a lieutenant, even if he might be unqualified, because someone's got to do it, someone's got to be in charge. So, just like that, but as many brahmacharis will be able to tell you, the idea of a whole life, we think we're going to live for a long time, preaching alone can be very, very tough. And sex life is listed as one of the necessities for a human body. Srila Prabhupada says that if you can do it, I think it was Srila Prabhupada, maybe it was a different chart, that if you can do it, then that's great. You do like that. You can stay brahmachari. There is another way, thank God, and that way is called the Grihastha ashram. So the brahmachari who feels like, okay, I'm ready to move into a different phase and I want to practice Krishna consciousness with the support of a wife, he moves into the Grihastha ashram. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is our wonderful guide for this. And I will tell you that I had the honor of reading this upcoming biography, Bhaktivedanta, three times to do the proofreading. And there is a lot of information on this. We learn a lot about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the first volume, and it's so rich. I learned so much about this wonderful personality, and the AI art about him, so realistic. There was a whole stir online. People didn't know if it was real. It is real. Anyway, it was very, very wonderful. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is an acharya in the disciplic line of succession, the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Yeah. And he is a grihastha. And if anyone here has seen his daily schedule, it's inspiring and not to be replicated by conditioned souls. You have to be crazy, and by crazy I mean amazing, like super empowered representative of Sri Hari to do such a thing. But he shows us by his example how you can be a grihastha and you can be guru. So in the Grihastha ashram, sex life is allowed for, just like Brahma, it says right here, therefore Brahma accepted another body in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. So a Krishna conscious person enters Grihastha ashram for some reasons, perhaps they're lusty and they need to dovetail that, and they need support, they're maybe lacking enthusiasm, or best case scenario, they're not lacking enthusiasm, they could do without it, but they've looked at their life and they've decided that this is going to be the best way. They've done their research, and for them they decide that that's the best thing to do, and they take a sensible decision and they find an appropriate partner, wife, and they do the thing. And they come together for one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, for the propagation of Krishna conscious children, for the propagation of the movement, for good progeny, which is very hard to come by nowadays, because even if someone might be so-called Krishna conscious, they might be the biggest Mayavadi. Kindly don't be fooled by tilak and dhoti. They mean nothing. You have to hear what someone says. It's like I saw again on someone's, all the time, but particularly on someone's Instagram or whatever, this guru, and he's wearing orange and he's got the tilak, and what he's saying, I'm looking at what he's saying and I'm reading Prabhupada's books and I'm like, what's going on here? There is a big gulf of difference between them. So we shouldn't judge someone by what they look like. They're wearing sari, they're wearing dhoti. It doesn't mean anything. We should judge by what they're saying. And if it contradicts the instructions of the spiritual master, the bona fide acharya, Srila Prabhupada, then cut that weed immediately. Otherwise, you yourself will get cheated. Oh well, a bit of a tangent there. Triggered by the bogus guru. So, sex life for the grihastas. So, sex life without children is like a desert. So children must be there. Of course, some medical problem, who knows? But children must be there. So it's a wonderful opportunity to give a soul the chance to take birth in a Krishna conscious situation. How rare that is. Not just a Krishna conscious situation, but a bona fide Krishna conscious association. Now the soul might turn out to be a rascal and they might go and do whatever they need to do, and what can you do? You have to let them go. But I mean, the idea that someone has the opportunity before they even come out the womb to be hearing the holy name of Krishna. So it is so, it brings me back to what I was saying before, that it's so important for us, for you to help us and for us to distribute books so that we can go out, we can preach, we can do online preaching, we can bring the young people, everyone, to Krishna consciousness, train them up, nice grihastas, more children, and we have a Krishna conscious army. And Srila Prabhupada is our Senabhakti Pata? Senabhati Bhakta, and he's our commander-in-chief. He's the... Thank you. He's Senabhati Bhakta, and he's the commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya. He's written in the Shastras. Also, this is at the start of Bhaktivedanta. I'm giving you too many spoilers now, but it is one more thing. It is at the start of the book Bhaktivedanta, the biography of Srila Prabhupada, that wonderful quote by Lord Chaitanya, explaining that, I'm paraphrasing here, please forgive me, that when some of my disciples will escape to the Western countries, or they will escape and they will fall astray, I will send my Senabhakti Pata to get them. So this is what is going on. Srila Prabhupada is casting his net, and his net is cast every day, not like he just came and cast his net and then those disciples came and then that's it, they're the only bona fide ones. No, not at all. His net is being cast wider and wider every single day because he lives in sound through his books. And he teaches us everything, from how to practice Krishna consciousness, to how to manage business, to how to deal with devotees' emotional problems, how to dress, how to eat, how to pass stool, how to deal with health, and how to have sex life. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, there's one chapter, big bliss points to anyone who can reveal which chapter. Pujit Prabhu not allowed. And in this chapter, Krishna is saying, of the this I am this, of the this I am this, of the mountains I am the biggest one, I'm Mount Meru, I think the biggest one, of women I am fame and fortune, of the strongest men I'm the strongest man, like this. And he says that, I think it's in that chapter, in regards to sex life that adheres to religious principles, he says, I am that sex life. So that becomes non-different from him. And so we people always ask, can you have sex? Do you have sex? The answer is yes, but we don't have illicit sex. We don't give it away for free. We don't just do the deed and then abort and create, or, then create Varnashankaras. Sex life can also be sacred, and it can be non-different from Krishna if we do it in the right way. So how grateful we can be that Srila Prabhupada explains everything to us, and there's so much we can learn about it. We can go into the fine details of how to do it in the best way, and we're also told that we shouldn't be embarrassed about it. It is not a shameful thing. We're not like cats and dogs in the street. When we do it, we're supposed to throw a party, and we're supposed to shout in front of everyone and say that we're going to go do the Garbhadana Samskara because it's holy and it's glorious. It is a great austerity, it is. And I think what a wonderful opportunity just before, and a saving grace, just before you're about to do something pretty depraved, pretty gross when you really think about it, just before you're about to do something that is like one of the main things that we give up, illicit sex life. You're about to do it, and you're about to do it in a holy way, but before you do that, to chant 50 rounds. This is what we say. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. Is not a recommendation, it is a necessity. Otherwise, you don't know what kind of Rakshasa demon you're going to have in your belly for 9 months, 10 months. So this is very, very necessary. It's a challenge, and it's a stopgap, and it's a saving grace before you do something that could turn out to, just create someone so horrible or give way to a soul that you just don't want to come through your belly. So we chant these 50 rounds, and most importantly, we hopefully, because of the brahmachari training, brahmacharini training, and then the time and the relationship before the children, ideally it's not so much time, but however, these things are difficult, you have that time to really get into a purified consciousness, and then the 50 rounds, they hammer in that consciousness. You're chanting Hare Krishna for pretty much 6 hours straight to purify the consciousness, so that in that moment, when, it's the best moment for the false ego to think, I'm the enjoyer, hopefully, just like when you die, you have enough consciousness to remember that this is for Krishna, and this is Krishna's enjoyment. So, and someone might say, well, I thought that even when I have sex, I can still be the enjoyer. You're never the enjoyer, because you are the created. You are not the creator. And even if, some wonderful soul comes through you, it's still, okay, all glories to you and your service and your sacrifice and what you've done. But everything is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the Guru, and everything is the mercy of Sri Krishna. We cannot really take credit for anything. Just like Krishna says that I am the ability in man. So like that. So that is the idea about sex life. And when sex life is like that, when it is used for creation and not sense gratification, although our senses are very much gratified in that process because it's for Krishna, when it's like that, then both parties are happy. The girl is happy, the boy is happy, and the soul, the child, will be happy. Because anything that Srila Prabhupada says is right. Everything that Srila Prabhupada says is right. He doesn't make one single wrong step. He doesn't do anything that is not perfect. Even a single blink of his eye is perfect. Nothing is out of place. Even if he seemingly forgets something or transcendentally stutters or says a sentence, what we would say wrong, it is still absolutely perfect. So when he says something that triggers us or makes us feel uncomfortable, that has got nothing to do with the validity of what he's saying, but everything to do with our resistance to accepting that. And that's why we chant Hare Krishna, so we can purify that resistance and become more able and willing to hear what he's saying, to accept it, to talk about it with the devotees in the association, and to move past that resistance into more and more surrender. And it's not a blind surrender, it is not a blind faith in Srila Prabhupada. Of course, faith must be there. There should be some faith that this person that I'm hearing from, yeah, I think he's got something. The Swami's got something, he does. And then we put it into practice. Krishna consciousness is otherwise known as the science of self-realization. It is a science. What does science mean? I was just transcribing some questions and answers from His Grace Purujit Prabhu yesterday. It's going to be in next magazine, February issue. And he was explaining that what is science? Science is when you have an idea, you have a hypothesis, and you put it to the test. So here we are, we're saying, don't you want to be free from this horrible mentality that you're in control of everything, and don't you want to be free from birth, forgetting, death, super scary, old age, wrinkles, fat, smelly, grey, ugly. You're inside this body, the soul is eternally 16 years old, and then you're in this body that's just degrading around you, and everyone's looking at you, you're so ugly old person, but you're just inside I'm eternal. It's horrible. And disease, of course, absolutely horrible, this disease. I know very well. So if you are intrigued by these big claims, okay, you can be free from all of that, then follow Srila Prabhupada, give it a try. Start chanting Hare Krishna and read, hear. Srila Prabhupada says an hour a day. Read an hour a day. You can do it. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And then what he gives is the instruction for how to dovetail everything into something which is pleasing, how to dovetail everything into Krishna consciousness for our own happiness. Not that we should be doing it for our own happiness, but that's one reason why people come to Krishna, because they're miserable and they want something, they need something. But ultimately, we have to understand that if we want to be happy, we have to please Krishna, because Krishna is God, and we are parts and parcels of God. Just like if a finger wants to enjoy some nice cake, it can take the cake and it can feel it and it can smush it around, but it's not going to satisfy. It is only when the finger works in conjunction, puts it in the mouth, it goes to the stomach, and that's how we enjoy. The root nourishes all the parts of the body. The root of the tree nourishes all the branches and the leaves, and similarly, nourishing Krishna, focusing on Krishna, making his enjoyment the center of our lives, although it might feel painful at first. We push past the resistance. And how do we push past the resistance? We have to be in knowledge. We have to be in knowledge. Just relying on sentiment in this Krishna consciousness will not work. There will come a point where you leave because you're not convinced. Awareness and knowledge must be there. That's why hearing is so important. So, just to relate it back to the text, if anyone is thinking that, I'm interested in Krishna consciousness, but what about sex? Don't worry, it's there, it's a big part of it, and it's way much more pleasurable than if you do it in a non-religious way. So I will end the class here, and if anyone has any questions, now is the time to ask, or comments, or challenges, you can say. So I'm just going to read from TikTok. Hare Krishna, TikTok. Okay. Hare Krishna Prakash Suna. Okay, if you're here, TikTok, please subscribe, or not subscribe, but follow. Haya, if you're still there, hello. Oops, I just sent a request to join. Don't join. Hopefully you're not here. You said, what are you singing? What I was singing is a bhajan, a prayer called Jaya Radha Madhava. And I'm going to screenshot you and I'm going to message it to you later. I heard that Srila Prabhupada said that this bhajan, it includes everything. It talks about Shri Shri Radha Krishna, it talks about Mother Yashoda, it talks about Vrindavan. And funnily enough, fun little behind the scenes story, when I was first coming to Bliss, at one point Pujit Prabhu said, you should learn this Jai Radha Madhava for the next time. And I was very nervous, but they sent me the lyrics, the Daivi Mataji, then Dora, Bhaktin Dora, sent me the words, and yeah, it's so wonderful, very grateful. Okay, I am Shahab says, Mera Ishq Mera Shyam. What does that mean? Do you know, Prabhu? All I know is that Shyam, that is Krishna, Shyama Sundar. That's a name for Krishna. It's a color, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. The color of a monsoon cloud about to burst. That is the color of Krishna. Can you even imagine this beauty? No. Amhaya says, what made you become Hindu? I'm not Hindu. Ram says, is it just me or everyone is experiencing lag? Sorry about that. You can also join on our Facebook. That's very, very good quality because we have this big setup over here. So it's really, really high quality on Facebook. And Matthew Korp says, Radhe, Radhe, Happy New Year 2025. Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Okay, Malik says, what are you teaching to people? We teach that you are not your body. Well, we don't teach, this is fact. We just remind you that you're not your body. You are a infinite spirit soul, and that you've somehow or other, through millions of lifetimes, you've ended up here in a human body. It's very important to use it to remember that you're not God. You are a part and parcel, an eternal servant of God. And how to serve God, it's not just love Him. No, it's do some service. And how to serve Him, we learn from Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master. You can find everything in our books. And we do these classes every day. So please come back. Very nice question. I am Shahab says, who's Krishna? Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is the absolute truth. There are three aspects to God: the Brahman, the all-pervading aspect; the Paramatma, the localized aspect in the heart of every living entity and every single atom; and Bhagavan, the personality, the possessor of all opulences, and that is all contained in the transcendental body of Sri Krishna. Everything, every energy is emanating from Him. So if we simply go straight to Him via the spiritual master, via the devotees, then we can know everything. We don't have to stop at Brahma or Paramatma, because you can very easily get stuck. Just go straight to the top. Had says, are gurus divine or divinely inspired? Both. They are divine, like we say, His divine grace. Why is He divine? Actually, I can only speculate on this because I don't know exactly why we say that. I'll give my... Huh?
Why the Guru is divine?
Yeah. Well, can I say what I think it is?
Better have a proper understanding.
But it might be right.
Okay.
So my idea that why we say a guru is divine is that everyone is a little Krishna. The gurus, the bona fide acharyas, they have more of Krishna's qualities. We all have Krishna's qualities, but in different proportions. So we have a very small amount, we're very covered. And the bona fide acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada, they have maybe 75%. Is this too much? They have some very high percentage, so they have more of that revealed. Just like,
That's not,
no. Is that not right though? Not at all.
not necessarily.
Okay, I'm switching it around.
Hare Krishna. So the reason why the Guru is divine is because we're all divine actually. We're all part and parcel of Krishna. However, the difference is that we have not realized it. We've forgotten due to the influence of Maya. We think ourselves to be the body. But the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, he is fully self-realized. He fully understands Krishna. He has no connection with the material body. Actually, his whole being is spiritual. So that's why. The qualities, if you want to go, the qualities here and there, it's not certain. Because, live stream is ending.
Oh,
It's back. That's the difference. The spiritual master, he's fully self-realized. He's fully aware of his constitutional position as a servant of God. Whereas we are not. We're thinking that we want to enjoy matter, and that's why we get conditioned by matter. We get put into forgetfulness. So he's not in forgetfulness.
so like what I said was right, but not for this question.
It's debatable because so far I understand it doesn't. No. There's no. It's not clear about these percentages, about these qualities that we would have to study. No. I know that that's the most that a jiva can have. But now is it that we have all those qualities while liberated? I do not know.
Okay, so then, just to repeat, so I know I understand, the reason that the Guru is divine is because he remembers, he is aware. And our issue is that we are unaware, we're in Maya, but he's not.
Yeah,
That's what makes him perfect.
Yes, he's free from the four conditions of the conditioned soul, or the four limitations. Propensity to cheat, imperfect senses. What did I do?
The conditioned soul has propensity to cheat, he's got imperfect senses, he can fall down. Just reading this one. And forgetfulness, well there we go. Perfect. Forgetfulness. I hope that's it. Okay, let's move on because there's quite a few more. Okay. Someone's. Okay. Yeah.
How many viewers?
10.
Oh, cool.
James Robert Haig says, I'm still admiring Hinduism from afar, so much to learn. My dear James, don't be cheated. This is not Hinduism. This is Sanatana Dharma. It is non-sectarian. And it is the natural position of every living entity to be aware of who they really are. It's got nothing to do with, human, man-made or temporary religions. I was just reading, Srila Prabhupada says that something like there may be some truth or some value or something in the human religions from the annals of human history. It's like that. So Hinduism actually is a little confusing. Better just practice Krishna consciousness, and then you include everything, and then you're the perfect Muslim, the perfect Christian, the perfect Jew. That's what it means to be Krishna conscious. It's just wisdom. Okay. Someone says, shush woman, bring the baldy back on. He's not bald actually, he should shave. Okay. Thank you.
This means this person is a fool, number one.
Yeah, if you think that I'm a woman, you have a long way to go, my friend. Obviously, I'm in a woman body, but Cannot say, I am a woman, I'm a spirit soul. Justin says, hi, were you on first dates? Yes. Prabin says, sing a bhajan of Krishna. Come every day. We do bhajans every single day. Okay. Some people trying to convince me to become Muslim. And I will say this, to all the wonderful Muslims in the group, all respect to you. If you can convince me, if you can give me a better philosophy than what I have here, then I'll convert in a moment, find me in a hijab. But until then, I'm going to keep practicing Krishna consciousness. Justin says, I thought so. Have you found love yet? Yes, love. He's right here. This is the source of all love. Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure. And Nityananda is waving. Sorry, darling, there is no love in the material world, only lust. But we can dovetail that very nicely, serving each other for Krishna. Are there any questions on Facebook? Oh, dear.
The thing that I was wondering, does soul have any memory?
Oh, what an interesting question. Well, I can only answer from my very limited understanding, very limited hearing. Does the soul have memory? Well, my understanding is that when... What's that?
I see your question. Okay.
No. No challenges today.
I have a question.
Oh, wait, I'm just going to answer one. Okay, so does the soul have memory? Well, we don't remember. When we come into a body, we forget. But it is said that when you return to Krishna, you remember everything. And the first thing you feel is shame. That wisdom is all there, but it's very much covered. And in terms of past lives and stuff, we can't know that right now. We're in such a conditioned state, nor is it really necessary to know. You're here now. Focus on the job at hand.
It's there, but it gets covered at birth.
It gets covered at birth.
In the womb, the child.
In the womb.
Inspired.
And please, I want to practice. Yeah, in the womb. So there's a period of how many of a months, and the consciousness is very, 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 very limited, if not like almost asleep. And then at some point, maybe after some months, I can't remember which mark, the soul in the body, and it becomes aware of its situation, and it's aware of the horrible situation being cramped in the womb. And it says, it prays to Krishna. He prays that I promise, if when I get out, I'll never forget you. Of course, we all know, being here, that doesn't happen because we forget. We get covered, and Maya is very, very strong. We have to push. We have to fight to remember Krishna in every moment. Please.
Is there a microphone?
There.
So,
Oh dear.
there are other living entities, and you said...
What do you mean?
The camera, understand.
The camera itself can swim.
Depending on yourself, because you're gonna have to adjust it.
Yeah, it's... People shouldn't see me anyway. It's a disgrace.
It's fun to switch it up.
So, yeah. You said that there's only lust in this material world, which is, of course, entirely true. Now, we have relationships with devotees, whether that's nuptial or friendship-based, or between the servant and the master. Even like, okay, not even like Prabhupada, like the divine grace. But there are senior devotees, and then we also have a relationship which is not necessarily friendship, because Narada Muni, he says that with the less advanced devotees, you show them mercy, or you become yourself like a guru. With equally advanced devotees, you become friends, and then with higher advanced, you should take shelter of more advanced devotees. So that's like a servant and master rasa there. And even then you might have kids, right? If you have the nuptial relationship, you have the Vatsalya rasa is also there. Anyway, so there are different kinds of relationships we have with devotees while we reside in the material world. Is that lust-based?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. I appreciate your question. So the answer is this. When Krishna is in the center, then that lust, it might start from lust. Okay, we can be honest. We might, as I said, there are different reasons why people come to the Krishna conscious relationship. And it might be the fact, especially for the woman, that they're lusty and they need that lust contained. And the man is willing to take that lust and contain it and help her, elevate her, and that's his service. And it also helps him in so many ways. So when Krishna is in the center and when it becomes a service to Krishna, then it might not be lust-based. And that can be real love because it's for Krishna. Like I can recognize that I have love for, all the devotees there because I respect what they're doing. And that's got nothing to do with me or my enjoyment, although I do, of course, enjoy from that because when Krishna enjoys, I enjoy. When Devi Mataji goes and distributes books all day, that makes me happy because she's bringing more people to the temple. Lord Chaitanya is happy. He appears. I get more ecstatic. So like this, like dovetailing the selfishness. So my speculation answer, because I don't know what it would say, but from my understanding is that there is no love in the material world, but devotee relationships are not material. When Krishna is in the center, they are spiritual.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There's a question also by Dhananjaya Prabhu. He says, what do you mean by the soul is infinite?
Oh, thank you for your question, Dhananjaya Prabhu. What I mean by the soul is infinite. Sorry. What I mean by the soul is infinite is that, just look at your situation. Okay, you find yourself in this body. You had the body of a baby, and then you had the body of a toddler, and then you had the body of a young adult, and now you have the body of like an adult, and then you're going to have, if you're meant to grow older, then you're going to have an older body. It will be wrinkly, but you, the observer, you stay the same. Just like old people, they always say like, oh, I feel so young. My spirit is still young. So the soul, what do I mean that the soul is eternal? The soul is the living force. It is the consciousness, and it finds itself in various bodies depending on its karma. Karma means activity that it did in the past life. And in the past lives, karma we're working through from a long, long, long time. It's not just from the past life. So the soul is eternal. It is unborn. You can find all these descriptions of the soul in the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter?
What? Chapter?
Yeah.
For which one?
Where Krishna says the soul is unborn, it's eternal, it's
That's chapter 2, verse 20 or 21.
There you go. Chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 20-21. Testing the Prabhus. So Krishna explains that this soul, it cannot be withered by the wind, it cannot be changed in any way, it's unborn.
Can I just elaborate on my question?
Yeah.
Because the word infinite, but I'm not the English native.
Let her finish what she's just saying, and then you can elaborate after she's finished this part, because she might answer it also.
Well, you can say whilst you're here.
I know. You can continue.
Okay, so, what I was going to say is that Prabhu is asking, what do you mean the soul is eternal? The soul, whose symptom is consciousness, is always there. It goes into different bodies and infinite. Yes, okay. Infinite means that there's no beginning and there's no end, which we cannot expect our minds to be able to wrap itself around because the mind is finite. So it cannot perceive anything infinite. We simply have to try and understand through logic, just like logically basic, the soul passes from boyhood to youth to the old age. We can perceive that I'm observing my mind, I'm observing the changing of the body, but I remain the same. Infinite means that because it's of Krishna, God is infinite. So we coming from him are also infinite.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Just if you analyze, that's why I said I'm not a native English speaker, but as far as I know, the word infinite means something that is unlimited, right? Like Krishna is unlimited because everything is Krishna.
It's the negated form of finite. So yeah, finite means it's synonymous with limited. It has boundaries. Finite means it has boundaries. So infinite means no boundaries.
Yeah.
So it cannot be limited to any particular way.
So then, my understanding is, well, if the soul is unlimited, if it's infinite, there is no limitation, then it's as good as God. Then it's God, right? Because Krishna has no limitation. Krishna can do whatever he wants. He's everything. Nothing is outside of Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. But as far as I understand, at least that's in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, I don't think that we have this capacity. We have limitations, like, we're not conscious of everything. We are
Not the source of everything.
not the source of everything, and we're also not pervading everything. Like we are.
To become covered.
Yes. And we are not the whole, right? That's the difference. We are part. So can part be infinite? No. It can be a part of the infinite whole, but it cannot be infinite by itself. If you follow.
I follow your point.
So Krishna is infinite, but we are finite because we are just a little part of Krishna, the whole.
If you understand infinite as infinite in terms of its duration, then yes, it's infinite. But the more appropriate word to use in that context is eternal. That's a specific word that denotes infinite in terms of duration. But it's not proper, I would agree, to say that the soul is infinite in total, because that would mean that he's infinite in his power, infinite in his knowledge, infinite in his bliss, which is not necessarily true for the minute soul. Therefore, the word minute is used often in conjunction with the jiva, minute spirit soul.
Otherwise, the Mayavadis, they will leech on, they will hop on.
Yeah.
They will take it.
It's both true and not true. It's safer to say the soul is eternal.
Thank you very much.
But the propensity for infinite enjoyment is there also in the soul. It has the
But
capacity.
again, you can say from that angle, okay, he has a propensity for infinite enjoyment because he lives in this infinite spiritual world, and he has an unlimited and eternal relationship with Krishna. But again, that's just one aspect. To say someone is infinite, it leaves too much room for interpretation.
It's too vague.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's not vague. It's definite, but it's not correct to say generally he's infinite, because generally, if you say he's infinite in all aspects. He's not. There are infinite aspects. He's infinite in his duration. He's infinite in his desire for enjoyment. But he's not infinite in many other ways. So, yeah, better use the specific words to say how he's infinite. He is eternal.
Right.
He is Anandamaya Bhasa. There's no English equivalent for that. Infinite desire for enjoyment, but yeah.
That he's infinitely whatever. But he's not infinitely full of opulences, for example.
Exactly.
Krishna.
He has opulence, but he's not infinitely opulent.
Yeah.
And those opulences are spiritual, and they're much more than we can have here. But yeah, they are limited because he is just a part of Krishna.
Thank you for clarifying.
Alright. Okay, this seems to be it.
Okay.
Manish Pangani is wondering on YouTube. Question: is soul eternal?
Oh, Mataji, you have to listen to what we just said. That was just discussed. Yes, the soul is eternal. It is unborn. It never dies. But it's not infinite. Well, It is, but just hear what we just said. You can watch back.
Can I offer just one quick elaboration on eternity? I don't want to do a hijack.
Do it.
I just thought it was interesting because we were already discussing this kind of topic. In Sanskrit, actually, there's very specific language and knowledge also. There are different words to denote different forms of eternity, because Christians will say eternity means it was created and then it never dies. So I'm not a scholar, but there is actually a specific Sanskrit word to denote something being created and then never dying. Then there's also another word to mean that it was never created, but it dies. And there's another word to mean that it was created and it will be destroyed. And there's another word to mean that it was never created and it never will be destroyed. So far I know there are like 4, maybe even 5, but I can't conceive of what the 5th one is, different forms of eternity. But the jiva, the soul, and Krishna also, they were never created and they were never destroyed, as Mataji has kindly stated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's some more on TikTok. I think Ephemeral is very nicely... Ephemeral is a real bliss devotee. She is totally preaching.
By the way, the camera is not on you.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so listen, there are some other questions, but I think it's time to wrap up.
Unless they're like
There was no offering done though, so until the offering is done.
I have to take my medicines.
Okay.
unless they're like very, very relevant questions.
Well, how do I focus? No, there is one. Oh, focus.
Press on the screen to focus. Press on the screen.
Okay, too late. Okay, there's one more really good question. Mims M, whose picture is a cat, says, "How can you not love family or your kids?" Of course, affection can be there, but understand that it's conditional. You love your family or your kids as long as they serve you. Lust means that it's for my sense gratification, and when that lust goes away, when my kid doesn't want to bring me food or doesn't want to do the job that I want them to do, or when my family doesn't support my sexuality, or when they don't like my partner, or when they talk bad about me, then they stop serving you, and then you realize that love is conditional. So love means unconditional. Love means love for Krishna, and anything else is conditional. So it's, I'm not saying that you don't have affection towards your family or your kids. I personally have affection towards the family, and surely towards the kids, but unless Krishna is involved, it's not really love at all, and it's very conditional. Just see, like, if you commit some horrible crime, your family will disown you because their love is conditional. It's based upon you. It's conditional first and foremost because it's upon the body, that you're their child. That's what Maitreya Prabhu said yesterday. Love between man and woman is conditional because the man thinks this is a woman and I'm a man, and the woman thinks this is a man and I'm a woman. So it's based on the body. The body is conditional. It is temporary, and love is not temporary. So you can just see, if you're really honest with yourself, love for anyone but God is conditional. You love your partner as long as he buys you nice things or he makes you feel good, and the moment that stops, then you have an issue. Then that love stops, and if it stops, then it's conditional and it's not really real.
There's questions also on the live stream, but we can answer them quickly.
Okay.
Michelle Williams is wondering, can the soul be hurt if you have a heart attack?
No, the soul is not affected. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, I think chapter 2. Yeah, you said chapter 2. Yeah. You can read in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Is this Michelle Melite?
No, Michelle
Williams. Okay. You can read in chapter 2, Michelle. Krishna explains the soul and the nature of the soul using loads of different verbs and adjectives about the soul and how it cannot be withered by the wind. What that means is that if you're in a sandstorm and your body, your body is being pulled hither and thither, the soul is unaffected by that. The soul never changes, so that even when the body is so degraded that it cannot hold you anymore, the soul just, ideally, it just goes out. Not boop, that's the last page it wanted to go out. It goes boop, it goes out there, and it goes on to the next body. It remains the same, like that.
Okay. Last question by Katie Martin. She's wondering, did the Big Bang cause our energy to be individual? What Big Bang?
I get what you mean. Were we always Krishna, and then when the Big Bang, I believe I understand your question, that when the Big Bang happened, we were separated. No, we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna, but we are also eternally individual. There was never a time when we were Krishna and then suddenly he expanded and created all of us. We are eternal parts and parcels of Krishna. That is our eternal position there in the spiritual world and here as well. So at no point in time will you merge back into Krishna. Even like the impersonalist, they can merge into the Brahmajyoti, into Krishna's Brahman effulgence. Even then you're still individual. That's why we say, please don't practice this impersonal, because you can, if you practice it perfectly, which no one does, because it's just ridiculously hard, and you can get into the Brahman effulgence, and then you get there and you realize that that state of pure bliss that you're trying to get all the time is miserable because you're on your own. You have no association. I don't know if you're on your own, but you have no association. You're just there in like a void state. Of course, it's not a void, nothing is void, but it's like a temporary holding state, and you have to come back and do it all again until you reach the personality. So we have a relationship with Krishna. Every single spirit soul has an individual and unique relationship with him. And when we practice Krishna consciousness, we realize that he is the master, I am the servant. And when you reach a certain perfection, a certain stage, very elevated stage, your swarupa, your spiritual constitutional position, your spiritual form will be revealed to you. But right now we think, I'm a woman, I'm a man, and that's why the instructions are so wonderful, especially about sex life. Just relate it back to the text. I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's end. So thank you all for listening. We'll be back tonight with the Bhagavad Gita class. Come every day and you'll read the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. How impressive is that? So thank you, and please don't forget to give some donation in some way or another. We need all your help, and you must do some devotional service. Otherwise your hearing won't work. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki